Uh, Hello, everybody. In this lecture today, I will present a brief summary of the first act of Shakespeare's play Macbeth. Uh, the play Macbeth starts with the appearance of the three witches. নাটকখনৰ আৰম্ভণিতে প্ৰথমতে ফাৰ্ষ্ট এক্ট ফাৰ্ষ্ট চিনত আমি তিনিজন witchক লগ পাওঁ. Witch, WITCH. Now, what is a witch? Witch is a lady who people say possess some magical power, and through their magical power, witches can bring bad luck to people. So, at the very beginning of the play Macbeth, three witches appear. In the play, these three witches are named as the Wade sisters. In নাটকখনত এই witch তিনিজনক the Wade sisters বুলি নাম দিয়া আছে. Wade spelling WEIRD, the Wade sisters. So in the very first scene, I'll try to draw your attention to a particular sentence spoken by a witch. Hey, witch বিলাকৰ এজন witch এটা particular sentence কয়, সেইটো আমাৰ কাৰণে খুব important এই নাটকখনৰ কাৰণে. She says, fair is foul and foul is fair. Fair is foul, F-A-I-R. Fair is foul, F-O-U-L. And foul is fair, F-O-U-L. Foul is fair, F-A-I-R. So at the end of the scene 1 of Act 1, all of the three witches together, a witch তিনিজনে একেলগে chorus of a sentence to call fair is foul, foul is fair. Now, if we translate this sentence into normal English, যদি normal English এই sentence to translate কৰো, change কৰো, we can understand this sentence as good is bad and bad is good. Fair is foul, foul is fair. Good is bad, bad is good. In other words, it means whatever looks good from outside, it may be bad from inside, and whatever looks good, whatever looks bad from the surface, from the outside, may be good from the inside. So at the very beginning of the play, the sentence, this sentence spoken by the three witches, a sentence to ji tinijon witch ekelage কয়, it creates an atmosphere, an atmosphere can create kore diye that what we are going to see, what we are going to understand in the play, that something of this nature might be shown in this play. এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ কিবা এটা বস্তু যেন নাটকখনত দেখুওৱা হ'ব য'ত good is bad and bad is good. The actual story of the play starts with scene 2 of Act 1. The story starts with a messenger informing the King of Scotland. Scotland is the country, Scotland, Scotland. So the King of Scotland, whose name is Duncan, Duncan. So it is informed to Duncan that one of his thanes, thane, T-H-A-N-E, thane means general, military general, a higher position in military. So one of his thanes named MacDonald, spelling MacDonwald. So information comes to Duncan that MacDonald has actually rebelled against the royal power. MacDonald has actually revolted against the King Duncan. So MacDonald started to disobey started to disobey the rule of King Duncan. But this action of MacDonald is suppressed. এই যে ম্যাকডোনাল্ডৰ যি ৰেবেল মানে ৰিভল্ট মানে বিদ্ৰোহ ৰজাৰ বিৰুদ্ধে সেই বিদ্ৰোহটোক কণ্ট্ৰোল কৰিলে কোনে Macbeth. Now who is Macbeth? Macbeth is the thane of Glamis. So Macbeth is also a thane. Macbeth, that means Macbeth is also a general. Macbeth was a general. Janukwe MacDonald as a general. Macbeth was a general. But Macbeth is the thane of Glamis. Glamis spelling Glamis. So through his military power, through his military excellence, MacDonald is controlled by Macbeth, and finally it is informed that MacDonald is actually killed by Macbeth. So the very beginning of the play, Duncan faces this military challenge from MacDonald, but Duncan's rule, Duncan's control over Scotland is continued because of whose help? Because of whose service? Macbeth's service. এই যে বিদ্ৰোহটোক দমন কৰাত ডানকানক ৰজাক কোনে সহায় কৰিলে Macbethe সহায় কৰিলে We are also informed that Duncan has faced another military challenge আমি এটাও গম পাওঁ যে ডানকানে আৰু এটা সামৰিক কঠিন অৱস্থাৰ সন্মুখীন হৈছে এটো কি কঠিন অৱস্থা সামৰিক সমস্যাৰ এটা সন্মুখীন হৈছে a military problem What is that problem? The problem is that the king of Norway, Norway, Norway is another country. The king of Norway has actually attacked Scotland with a huge army. And in this attack, the king of Norway is helped by a thane of Scotland itself. Scotland or a thane, a general, নরওয়ের রাজাক এই আক্রমণত সহায় কৰিছে Now who is this thane? The thane of Cawdor, Cawdor. The thane of Cawdor has actually turned a traitor, Traitor. Cawdor ji thane general তেখেতে traitor মানে বিশ্বাসঘাতকলৈ পৰিণত হৈছে পৰিৱৰ্তন হৈছে and instead of supporting King Duncan, he has actually taken the side of the King of Norway. So they together attack Scotland, but this time also, this danger, this attack is suppressed, is controlled by the military excellence, the military power of Macbeth. Macbeth, along with his close friend Banquo, Banquo. So Macbeth and Banquo together fight against the army of the King of Norway, and they successfully defeat the foreign army. And finally, the King of Norway and his army has to go back, has to push back because of the military power of Macbeth. So when these two information come to Duncan, Duncan becomes very happy with Macbeth. And he immediately declares that Macbeth will be the next thane of Cawdor. তেখেতে লগে লগে এইটো ঘোষণা কৰি দিয়ে যে Macbethই হ'ব next thane of Cawdor. We have to remember, আমি এইটো মনত ৰাখিব লাগিব, till now Macbeth was the thane of Glamis. But now Duncan has decided to give this new honor, নতুন সন্মান, নতুন উপাধি, নতুন position to Macbeth. What is this position? The thane of Cawdor, Cawdor. Till now, another person has been the thane of Cawdor, but he has become a traitor and he has taken the side of the King of Norway. And Duncan pronounces death sentence. Duncan pronounces death penalty, execution for the present Thane of Cawdor, and he decides that Macbeth will be the next Thane of Cawdor. Meanwhile, Macbeth, along with Banquo, they are traveling towards the king's palace, to Duncan's palace after the battle is over. On their way, when they are going towards the king's palace, they meet the three witches. তেওঁলোকে সেই তিনিজন উইচক দ্য ৱেড চিষ্টাৰ্ছ, যাক আমি কি হিচাপে জানো, দ্য ৱেড চিষ্টাৰ্ছ বুলি জানো, তেওঁলোকক এই দুজনে লগ পায়. When the three Wade sisters meet Macbeth and Banquo, first the witches speak to Macbeth. Hey, witch কেইজনে প্ৰথমতে কাৰ লগত কথা কয়? Macbethৰ লগত কথা কয়. The first witch welcomes Macbeth as the Thane of Glamis. The second witch welcomes Macbeth as the Thane of Cawdor, Cawdor. We have to remember that this news, a khabartu, that Duncan has decided to give the honor of the Thane of Cawdor to Macbeth. এই খবরটো যে ডানকানে এইটো সিদ্ধান্ত লৈছে Macbeth hobo next Thane of Cawdor, এই ইনফরমেশনটো it has not yet reached Macbeth. এই খবরটো এতিয়ালৈকে Macbeth পোৱা নাই. Before Macbeth comes to know about this news, this witch predicts, a second witch জনে এইটো predict কৰা মানে ভৱিষ্যৎবাণী কৰা, কোনটো যে Macbeth will be the Thane of Cawdor. The third witch, তিন নম্বৰ যিজন witch আছিলে, she surprises Macbeth most. তেখেতে Macbethক সবতকৈ বেছি সারপ্রাইজ কৰিলে. She welcomes Macbeth as the next king of Scotland. তিন নম্বৰ witch জনে Macbethক ওয়েলকাম কৰিলে. ওয়েলকাম কৰা মানে ইনডাইৰেক্টলি she is predicting, যেন তিন নম্বৰ witch জনিয়ে predict কৰি আছে. predict কৰা মানে ভৱিষ্যৎবাণী কৰা, যে Macbeth will be the next king of Scotland. This is quite surprising for Macbeth, because he is the Thane of Glamis. They are predicting, the second witch and the third witch, they predict that he will be the Thane of Cawdor, and then he will be the king of Scotland. When Macbeth was thinking about these strange predictions, এই আচৰিত ধৰণৰ ভৱিষ্যৎবাণী বিলাকৰ কথা যেতিয়া Macbeth ভাবি আছিলে, his friend Banquo also requests the three witches to tell something about his future. Banquo সেই তিনিজন উইচক ৰিকুৱেষ্ট কৰিলে যে যাতে তেওঁলোকেও Banquoৰ ফিউচাৰৰ বিষয়ে কিবা এটা কয়. Then the three witches tell Banquo that Banquo will be greater than Macbeth in future. The first which says that Banquo will be greater than Macbeth in future. The second which predicts, দ্বিতীয় which জনে predict কৰিছে, in future Banquo will be happier than Macbeth. But the most important prediction is made by the third witch. তিন নম্বৰ witch জনে Banquok লৈ পেলাই সবতকৈ ইন্টারেস্টিং প্রেডিকশনটো কৰিলে. She said that Banquo will himself never be a king. Banquo জীৱনত নিজে কেতিয়াও ৰজা হ'ব নোৱাৰিব, but Banquo will beget kings. কিন্তু Banquo ৰজাক জন্মহে দিব. Beget, B-E-G-E-T, beget কৰা মানে সন্তান জন্ম দিয়া, to give birth to baby. So that means Banquo will himself never be a king, but his sons or his son's son, they will be kings. The third which says predicts this strange thing. Macbeth meanwhile wanted to know something more. He wants to ask some questions to the three witches. But without giving him some any time to ask any question, the three witches suddenly vanish. ম্যাকবেথক কোনো কোশ্চেন করার চান্স নিদিয়াকৈ সেই তিনিজন উইচ হঠাতে ভ্যানিশ হয়ে যায়। And after that both of them, Banquo and Macbeth, they again proceed towards the palace. তেওঁলোকে ডানকানৰ যি পেলেচ ৰাজ অট্টালিকা সেইফালে ৰাজপ্ৰসাদৰ ফালে আগুৱাই গৈ থাকে। বাট অন দ্য ৱে দে আৰ ষ্টপড বাই এনাডাৰ থেইন কল ৰছ। কিন্তু ৰাস্তাত তেওঁলোকক বেলেগ এজন থেইন, বেলেগ এজন জেনেৰেল যাৰ নাম ৰছ, ROSS, তেখেতে এওঁলোক দুজনক ৰখায়। এণ্ড ৰছ gives this information to Macbeth that King Duncan is very happy with Macbeth because of Macbeth's military success. And Duncan has sent Ross to give Macbeth this information that Macbeth will be the next Thane of Cawdor. যে রসের এইটো ইনফরমেশন লৈ আহিছে যে ডানকানে এইটো সিদ্ধান্ত লৈছে ম্যাকবেথে হব নেক্সট Thane of Cawdor. Macbeth says, why? Because the Thane of Cawdor is still living. এটাও জীয়াই আছে Thane of Cawdor. Ross says, no. Duncan has pronounced death sentence for the Thane of Cawdor. So the Thane of Cawdor will be executed, punished, killed because of his treachery. Treachery, TREACHERY. Treachery মানে বিশ্বাসঘাতকতা. So বিশ্বাসঘাতকতার কারণে the present Thane of Cawdor will be killed, will be punished, will be executed, and the honor of the Thane of Cawdor will go to Macbeth. Macbethলৈ next সম্মান to যাব. Macbeth is quite surprised because just a few moments back the second witch has predicted that Macbeth will be the Thane of Cawdor, and within a short span of time, within a short period of time, this prediction has become a reality. এই ভবিষ্যৎবাণী তো বাস্তবত পরিণত হয়ে গেল। And immediately some bad thoughts, some horrible thoughts start growing within Macbeth. লগে লগে ম্যাকবেথৰ মনৰ ভিতৰত কিছুমান ভয়ানক চিন্তা জন্ম হবলৈ ধৰিলে। About what? About the third prediction. 3 নম্বৰ যিটো ভবিষ্যৎবাণী সেইটো লৈ পেলাই ভয়ানক কিছুমান চিন্তা যেন ম্যাকবেথৰ মনৰ ভিতৰত জন্ম হ'ব ধৰিলে। Which was that third prediction? The third prediction was that Macbeth will be the next king of Scotland. So, thinking about this third prediction, Macbeth, along with Banquo, reached the palace. তেওঁলোকে গৈ পেলাই ৰাজপ্ৰসাদত উপস্থিত হ'ল, and King Duncan welcomes them, and he expresses his happiness about the military success of Macbeth. তেখেতে ম্যাকবেথৰ যি মিলিটাৰী সাকসেস সেই লৈ নিজৰ যি স্যাটিসফ্যাকশন সন্তুষ্টি সেইটো তেখেতে প্ৰকাশ কৰিলে। And then Duncan declares that his elder son Malcolm, MALCOLM, his elder son Duncan has 2 sons. The elder son is Malcolm, and the second son is the younger son is Donalbain. We'll meet Donalbain later on. আমি অলপ পিছতে Donalbainক লগ পাম। So Duncan announces that Malcolm will be the next king of Scotland. He declares that he has decided to give Malcolm the title of the Prince of Cumberland. Cumberland, CUMBERLAND. Prince of Cumberland is the title given to the future kings of Scotland. Scotlandৰ যিসকলে ৰজা হ'বলৈ গৈ আছে তেওঁলোকক প্ৰথমতে এই টাইটেলটো দিয়া হয়, the Prince of Cumberland. So Duncan has decided to give this honor, give this title to Malcolm, the Prince of Cumberland, and that automatically means that Malcolm is going to be the next king of Scotland after Duncan. Hearing this, etu kotha huni pelai, Macbeth becomes a bit disappointed. Macbeth olop hotak hoi jay, because he was hoping that the second prediction is already fulfilled. And because the second prediction is already fulfilled, he has been hoping that Duncan will declare Macbeth to be the next king of Scotland. But now Duncan, instead of fulfilling his hope, what he has been hoping, Duncan says that Malcolm will be the next king of Scotland. And Duncan also says that he will visit Macbeth's castle that evening itself. ডানকানে এইটো কথা ঘোষণা কৰে যে সেইদিনাখন সন্ধিয়ায় ডানকানে ম্যাকবেথৰ যি castle, CASTLE, castle মানে সৰু অট্টালিকা, ডাঙৰ মানুহৰ অট্টালিকা, ৰাজপ্ৰসাদ, so which is located at a place called Inverness, INVERNESS. Macbethৰ যি castle Inverness, Inverness, INVERNESS. So Duncan invites himself as a guest. Duncan নিজকে এজন অতিথি ৰূপে ঘোষণা কৰি দিলে। কাৰ অতিথি? Macbethৰ যি castle ঘৰ Inverness, INVERNESS, তাৰ অতিথি বুলি নিজকে ঘোষণা কৰি দিলে যে this evening he will be visiting Macbeth's castle. So Macbeth immediately sends a messenger to inform his wife, Lady Macbeth, about the arrival of the king. Macbeth লগে লগে এজন মেসেঞ্জাৰ পঠাই দিয়ে নিজৰ castle লৈ পেলাই, য'ত the messenger is supposed to inform the arrival of the king that evening to Lady Macbeth. And the second thing Macbeth does, he writes a letter to Lady Macbeth. And in this letter, Macbeth describes what has happened to him, especially about his meeting with the three witches, how the second and third witch predicted that কেনেকৈ দ্বিতীয় আৰু তৃতীয় উইচজনে ভৱিষ্যৎবাণী কৰিছিলে যে Macbeth will be the Thane of Cawdor and Macbeth will be the king of Scotland, and how one of the predictions is already fulfilled. কেনেকৈ এটা ভৱিষ্যৎবাণী already বাস্তৱত reality হৈ গৈছে. After going through this letter, Lady Macbeth says that Macbeth will have to be the king of Scotland. The third prediction has to become the reality anyhow. যিকোনো ৰূপায়ে 3 নম্বৰ যিটো ভৱিষ্যৎবাণী সেইটো বাস্তৱত পৰিণত হ'বই লাগিব বুলি mentally Lady Macbeth decides. She even decides that she will influence Macbeth to do something. তেখেতে Macbethক influence কৰিব, কিবা এটা কৰিবলৈ, so that যাতে the third prediction becomes a reality. She says that Macbeth is too kind to get what he wants. তেখেতে কয় Macbeth ভিতৰৰ পৰা ইমান kind, ইমান soft, that নিজে যিটো বিচাৰে সেইটো তেখেতে নিজৰ কাৰণে লোৱাৰ যিটো ইচ্ছা সেইটো নাজাগিবও পাৰে. But she says that she will influence Macbeth in such a way that ultimately Macbeth will feel an uncontrollable desire to fulfill the wish of he becoming the next king of Scotland. Thank you.